And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Muscogee County Coaches Show. Every other Wednesday, we interview different Muscogee County coaches from all types of sports. We've got three fantastic guests for you tonight. I'm going to talk with the Northside girls basketball coach. They are 6-0, off to a hot start. It's Coach Jarquella Woods. Also, Columbus cheerleading just won a state championship. I'm going to end up talking to the Columbus cheerleading coach, and that is going to be Coach Haley Hardage. And then he's playing in a state championship, the Carver head football coach, Pierre Coffey, as they get ready for Burke County on December the 17th. But first, please welcome to the Muscogee County Coaches Show, Coach Jarquella Woods.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, congratulations so far in the season. 6-0, got a big win over Jordan over the weekend. We were there for Shaw Northside at Northside. In fact, my virtual background is the exact gymnasium that I actually was at, and that was a great win. You were down 30-14 at the half. What did you tell your team in the locker room getting prepared to come out in that second half and end up pulling away with the victory?
It was like just let them know that have short-term memory. There's nothing we can do to change the first half at this point. And then it was on us as coaches to make the adjustments. And I think we did a great job. We did a great job of that, and just had our kids like calm down, relax. I think it was us more so turning the ball over a lot, just giving the ball away, and then just putting them on the free throw line. I don't know the free throw count off the top, but it was. It went to their side. So, and that's because we were fouling a lot. But at the same time, just getting the kids to understand, like, just to relax, calm down. It's okay. The score is 0-0 going on to the second half. And like I said, leaving it on us coaches to make those adjustments. I think we did a great job of that. And then just gave the kids a game plan for the second half and just told them it's going to take time. Don't think we're going to go out in the first 2-3 minutes and get back in the game. Just slowly chip away. And then we just let them know if we cut it to 6, if we cut to 6 by the end of the third quarter, then we're gonna win the basketball game, and I think that's exactly what ended up happening.
And by the way, this is pre-recorded, so by the time this airs on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Northside will have had the rematch with Shaw at Shaw High School. And just talk about, you're off to a hot start, 6-0, lost some key scores from last year's team that went 10-17. It wasn't the record you really wanted, but you did finish in second place in the region behind Harris County with a 5-3 record. Lost to Eagles Landing in the first round of the playoffs, but losing players like Zariah Davis and Morgan Thomas. What are some of the players like that stepped up this season? I know that Kiki Hunter is back this year, but I tell you what, Coach, I've been impressed with Jelena Stewart and Annaline Clifton. They have been just key to your success when it comes to post players, rim protectors, getting those rebounds, doing all the dirty work, and getting defensive stops. Is there any other players on your team that have contributed to your success so far, having an undefeated season?
I think the whole group. I think everybody has bought into their roles. We don't have any kids that are, it's strictly about me. It's all about we. Like, what can I do to help my team? Whether that's me playing the whole game, whether it's me playing 5 or 6 minutes here and understanding my role. I think we have a lot of kids who just, simply understand their role, and they do their part so that it all works out for the good. My whole freshman class, I think I have like 6 freshmen on varsity, and at any time, it's probably 3 of them on the floor. Just proud of the way that they've came in, and what I'm saying, we're not demanding anything out of them. Just want them to get used to high school basketball. I want them to get used to that pace. They're learning and they're growing. A lot of it goes to them as well. Like you mentioned, we have Kiki Hunter, who's returning, and Annaline Clifton, who's been here all 4 years. That have played, some key parts in this 6-0 run that we do have. So proud of those guys for stepping up. I think they understood the challenge once, Morgan Thomas, Zakira McGee, and Zariah Davis left out last year. They understood that, it was going to require a little bit more from them in order for this team to be successful this year, especially with the amount of freshmen and unexperienced kids we brought in this year. So they've done a great job of, all just buying in and, everybody understanding their roles and doing everything they're supposed to do to make sure that, like I said, like, this thing works.
All right, Coach, you've got a huge rivalry game this Friday night at your gymnasium, taking on Columbus, a team that has really improved as Coach
Mm-hmm.
Adams goes from 5 wins to 9 wins last year, already 5-3. They play Russell County on Tuesday, so they might be 6-3. But just have you looked? I know you don't want to look ahead of the Shaw matchup because you have to play them again. But
Mm-hmm.
Columbus is an up and coming team that's got some pretty good wins. And what are you looking forward to with that matchup? Having your fans back in the gymnasium Friday night as you get ready to take on a rival in Columbus.
Like you said, not to look past Shaw or anything, but we've watched Columbus play. They kind of remind me of ourselves, young with a few people, with a few returners who have some experience, and the new kids that they have brought in are pretty decent basketball players. So we're gonna have to actually show up and play on Friday. Excited for our young group to get to see this atmosphere. I think this is one of the games where the gym is. It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be loud. Both student sections are gonna show up. Just that atmosphere alone, I think that's one of the things I look forward to each season is playing Columbus High School, not for necessarily for the actual game, but just the environment, the atmosphere that both student sections put on. And again, just excited for that, for my young group to get to experience that. And like I said, on our part, coach's part, we'll have them ready, game plan, have them ready to go Friday as far as on the floor. But again, just excited for them to get to experience it. We didn't get the experience in football this year because we didn't play them this year. So I'm pretty sure we'll have a nice size crowd from both schools on Friday here.
Coach, let's talk about the region. You
Mm-hmm.
finished in second behind Harris County. Now both of you are in different region, now in 4A in the reclassification. But
Mm-hmm.
some of these teams that you have to face in your region, Griffin, who won the state championship in 4A 2 years ago, Central
Mm-hmm.
Carroll, always a tough team, Jonesboro, Stars Mill. And we, of course, know about Harris County, what Coach Stephanie Ramsey has done there is just been incredible. They went to the quarterfinals last year, lost to Cartersville. Just have you been able to scout this region? I mean, we know that Harris County you're able to see closer because they play about 30 minutes up the road. But what about the other teams in the region, like a Griffin or a Central or a Jonesboro? And have you been able to see what this region's going to look like?
Yeah. Again, I kind of do my homework at the beginning of the season, try to do some quick early scouting early on before we actually get into thing, and then also following them these first couple weeks as the season has kicked off. I'll say this: I think for the most part, I think all of us are pretty young, with the exception of Harris County. I think she's probably returning the most returners, the most experience. And so honestly, I'll say that she's probably the leader of the pack right now in the region. But when it comes to everyone else, I think we're all young. I think if any given night, anyone could be anyone. I think for us, I know we're gonna have to make sure that our kids are prepared, and then not only that, making sure that they're executing the game plan. If we do that throughout our region, I think we'll be fine. I don't want to say, I know for a fact we'll be back in the region championship if we take care of business, if we do everything that we're supposed to do.
All right, Coach. Let's talk about your background. I mean, this is your first time on the Muscogee County Coaches Show. I just want to get a little bit of your coaching background.
Gotcha.
We do know that you are the daughter of Coach Michael Woods. He's
Mm-hmm.
done just a fantastic job in the community with Girls Inc. He's been on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show. We appreciate everything he's done in this community. Just talk
Mm-hmm.
about that coaching tree. What have you learned from your dad as you've been a coach, and how long have you been a coach, and who are some of your mentors besides your dad, like as far as people that you look up to that has given you advice as you begin coaching?
Um, I would say I'll be honest with you. Quick story. I didn't really want to coach basketball. I wanted to get away from it. I think I had seen my dad do it for so long, and I saw everything that he dealt with outside of actually coaching, and it kind of turned me off from it. So I didn't want to do it. But sometimes things work out in a way that you have no choice. Like you can't, like it's your calling. Like you can't run from it. So I think that's why I was placed where I'm at, and in the specific time that I was placed where I'm at now. Um, as far as learning from him, like I said, I grew up a coach's kid. Basketball, played it year round, summer, fall, winter, travel, like all that. Played it year round, and then being a coach's kid, just being able to see like the work, the preparation he put into it to making sure that things are clicking how they're supposed to be clicking. Watching him study the X and O's and that type of thing. and to him just being a student of the game, I think that's where I get learning how to just be a student of the game, not just simply just showing up, but actually studying and preparing for the game. I'll say around here, if we're talking about people who I look up to or take some things from Coach Mills. Coach Mills coached me my senior year in high school. Um, One thing I used to like about our practice is he was a drill guy, and I'm big on kids, being repetitive, doing drills over and over again, and then being able to translate those into the game. So Coach Mills is definitely one of the guys that I look up to. And then yeah, my dad, and then my coaching staff, my brothers. We talk a lot, talk X's and O's a lot. Just bounce ideas off each other, and then I pull inspiration from people who are in positions where I want to be. I study South Carolina women's basketball a lot. I love Dawn Staley
Hmm.
approach to the game, not just the X's and O's part, but I love everything that she does with her program, outside of the floor, making sure that her kids are taken care of once they leave her doors. That's one of my things. I'm not just preparing you to be a good basketball player. It's like eventually one day you're gonna stop dribbling the ball. Like, what did I prepare you for outside of that? Did I prepare you to be a good person? Did I prepare you to make sure you have some type of career, some type of plan? You know what I'm saying, to reach that career. So I look to her. I kind of mold my philosophy of outside of the floor coaching off of some of the things she do as well. Just some of the women's and college basketball, I just look at, study, and try to mimic some of the things they do on a high school level.
Coach, are you guys going to be participating in any Christmas tournaments this year?
Yeah, we'll do the. We're only gonna do the Christmas showcase, the Muscogee County School District showcase this year. I think they have us playing Russell County. I think we play that Saturday at 10:30. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was looking at the schedule. I do see that you do play them in the regular season, but I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's going to be part of the Muscogee County Christmas Showcase, which, by the way, I remember 2 years ago, you guys were in the championship game
Mhm.
against Carver. And
Mhm.
I thought that was just a fantastic just showcase to see
Yeah.
Northside in the championship. There's so many things that have really gone into just the preparation, as you're just a team that just is young, but you just
Mhm.
continue to get better. And Coach, we wish you all the success. We're hoping to live stream more games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that was Jarquella Woods, the head basketball coach of the girls team for the Northside Lady Patriots. We're going to go ahead and take a break, but when we come back, we are going to have the Columbus High cheerleading coach. That's coming up next here on the Muscogee County Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Welcome back to the Muscogee County Coaches Show. As on the show, I have got the Columbus cheer coach, Haley Hardage, fresh off of a state championship. Congratulations, Coach. Before we get into the show, just give us a little bit of your background. How long have you been the cheerleading coach? What does that consist of? And what went into the preparation to win a state championship?
So this is actually my first year as head coach. I've been coaching this is my third year. So I was an assistant coach for 2 years and then first year as head coach. So it's been a lot. It's been a big transition. Me and the old head coach, we worked together a lot, and there's been a lot of prep for this year. We started prep back in like February, March of last year. So to get like our game day like routine together, we had to hire like an outside choreographer, and obviously like we had to make the team in March. So it's been a long time coming, but a lot of prep has gone into this moment. I cheered for all 4 years. I actually went to Columbus High myself, and I did competition and sideline cheer. So it's been like sweet to be able to kind of combine the two types of cheerleading that I did into one, because game day is kind of new to Georgia.
Yeah, just explain to those that are confused about like what the difference between game day cheer and competition cheer, because I know that they're two different. They're two different sports, right, Coach? And then you have
Yeah.
cheerleaders that actually do both.
Yeah, so we do have some that do both competition and sideline. So game day competition is like its own kind of like area. And with like typical traditional competition cheerleading, you go out, you do a 2.5 minute routine. You incorporate stunts and tumbling, and usually they'll have like a cheer and some type of dance in it. And it's like you're going full out the entire time. And game days still a routine, but it's a little bit different. And essentially what game day is it's trying to bring the Friday night experience to a competition. So like the cheerleaders go and they do what's called a band chant. So it's like a little dance and it incorporates the crowd. They try to engage the crowd. And then they do a cheer after that. And then after they do their cheer, then they do the fight song, which also engages the crowd. So it's really all about like crowd engagement, going out there and having a fun time.
And, I've seen cheer competitions before. I mean, there's a lot of choreography, movement, blocking and staging. Like you mentioned, the chants and stuff, all that stuff goes in. And what are the judges looking for when you have a cheer competition? I know you just had at this Columbus Civic Center state championship. Congratulations, Coach. But what went into that, and what are the judges looking for?
Yeah, so last year was our very first year doing game day. And last year was a very big learning experience. We didn't really know like what all it entailed, what all the judges were looking for. And then like with each competition, we get like score sheets and they kind of tell us some like tips and things like that. And so one thing that we noticed was we needed to work on like our spacing. We needed to work on sharpness. And so taking the critiques that we had from our routine last year at the two competitions we went to, we kind of took that and helped kind of shape sorry, my computer's turning off. I'm going to unplug this really quickly because I still have my computer up from earlier. But we essentially took those notes and critiques that we got and helped with our routine this year. So like really what they look for, they're looking for sharpness. They look for like spacing. Is everyone like when they do their high V's, are they all in sync with each other? Like they look for more of like the visual appeal, whereas like with traditional competition, they're looking for like what skills do you have? So like when you watch the routine, is it visually appealing? Like is everyone spaced right? Is everyone being sharp? Because in the end, like they're seeing if the crowd is going to get engaged. Like are you engaging the crowd? And the more sharp you are and the louder you are and the more visually appealing it is, that's what's going to get that crowd engagement.
Coach, now is cheerleading a year-round competition? Can your cheerleaders play other sports?
They can. And we have a couple of cheerleaders that we have one that was involved in like 3 different sports. So
wow.
Yeah, we actually had 2 that were involved in 3 different sports. She did traditional comp, flag football, and then I think she's involved with wrestling too. And then obviously sideline. So like 4 sports all together. And it's really hard to manage because like you have girls like that. We don't want to keep them from not playing other sports, but they're having to leave practice early. So that's been kind of like the biggest hurdle that we face this year is just having girls doing multiple sports. Like we want them to be able to be involved in not just cheer with us, but be involved in whatever else they want to be involved in. But then that requires them like missing practice and having to sacrifice practice time for both sports. So it's been kind of tough this year.
Coach, typically what goes into a practice for cheerleading game day and competition?
So for game day, really it kind of like switched gears. In about October, we switched gears from we'd practice like cheers and preparing for Friday nights. And then in October, we just started practicing our game day routine. And with game day, like with traditional competition, you have one routine. So you're working on that one routine the whole year that you're the whole year. Whereas with game day, you have essentially 2 routines. So you have what's called prelims, and then you have your finals routine. So with game day, whenever you go to a competition, you're throwing 2 different routines. So you have a prelims routine, and that's where you do like the band chant, you have a crowd engagement cheer, and then you have the fight song after that. But then what you're working for is to make it to what's called finals. So like when we went to game day last year, we didn't even make it to finals. So we only did our prelim routine. You only do your finals routine if you make it to finals, but you still have to practice both because you never know if you're going to make it to finals or not. So we would practice both routines. We really focus more on the prelim routine just because like you have to make sure that one's perfect to be able to make it to finals, because that's like your end goal, obviously winning, but you want to be able to make it from prelims to finals. And then at finals, it's like a whole pretty much separate competition. You could have won in prelims, but they judge differently for finals too. So whenever you make it to finals, it's like a whole new score.
All right, Coach, take us back to last week, that moment when your team was at the Columbus Civic Center and you found out that you won the state championship. Really, what was that feeling like for your cheerleaders? And really, what was the atmosphere like at the Columbus Civic Center?
Yeah, that was such a happy moment just because there's been like I said, I mean, we've been planning for this since January. So it's taken a lot of prep and just a lot of time. We've had a lot of like obstacles because at Columbus High, we have like one, it's like the cheer and wrestling gym. So we've been practicing in the cheer gym. But then once wrestling started, we had to find an alternate practice space. Well, then that practice space, we went over to First Baptist Church, and I liked it better because we can spread out a little bit more. Well, they called me and they ended up having to do some unexpected renovations. So then we lost our second practice space. So then we're having to like find alternate places to practice. We had to go to CSU for a night practice. We had to like work around basketball, and we got put in like the main gym, which was really nice. But yeah, that was really stressful. Like we had some miscommunication about one of our practices and then had to move from the cheer gym over to Hardaway one day. It's been a lot of obstacles this season. And that's one thing that I tried to like use to motivate the girls is we've had so many obstacles that have happened this season, but using that to like motivate them. And I think that that's kind of what helped out in the end. So hearing that we not only made it to finals, but ended up winning, it was just such a special, sweet moment, especially being in Columbus. Like it was huge. And we're the first team in Columbus to win game day. So it was just a really, really special moment.
Absolutely, Coach, and congratulations once again as you get ready to defend that cheerleading championship.
Hope so, yeah.
I'm excited. I know Columbus has had just a tradition and history of athletes to come out of Columbus High. We're talking Frank Thomas, Sam Mitchell, but there's one celebrity in particular. I mean, she was a celebrity in the entire year of 2023 who happened to be a cheerleader at Columbus, and I'm talking about the Bachelorette, Charity Lawson.
Yes.
Do you remember her? What was your memories of her at Columbus, and just talking about just being in that celebrity spotlight, and what was her impact when she was on the cheer team?
Yeah, so funny enough, she was actually my flyer when I did competition. And so she was a senior when I was a sophomore, and she was awesome. She was so sweet. It was my first year on varsity, so she was like super helpful and just giving me like tips and tricks. Because it's my first year, well, not my first year basing, but I was kind of newer to basing, and she was just very, very helpful. So she was super sweet. And whenever I heard that she was a Bachelorette, I couldn't imagine anyone else that I went to high school that could fill the role but her. Like, she's awesome.
Yeah, she really put Columbus on the map, especially during those hometown dates.
Yeah, for
those
sure.
shots of the Riverwalk, and yeah, we really were just proud of the fact that, I mean, she was on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and Dancing with the Stars. I mean, that was the trifecta, and I know that everybody in Columbus is proud of what she has accomplished in her life after Columbus High. But my final thought to you, Coach, how can people support the cheerleading squad, or what are some ways that they could donate their time, donate their funds? This is just a message to those Columbus fans out there that want to support the cheer teams.
Yeah. So if y'all follow us on Instagram, it's I think it's at CHS Sideline Cheer, I'm pretty sure. And we put a lot of like updates on there. We're going to try to do some more like fundraisers, especially now that we have some state rings that we're trying to get. We're going to be trying to fundraise for that. So if you would just follow us on Instagram and social media and just be on the lookout, we'll put some stuff out there for some fundraisers. So.
Well, Coach, I cannot wait for them to display that championship banner in that gymnasium, along with the girls' basketball banner in 2017, all those baseball championships that the legendary Bobby Howard won. And you could just add cheerleading to that list with all those other sports, Coach. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That was the cheerleading coach of Columbus High, Coach Haley Hardage. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to have the Carver football coach, Pierre Coffey, as he gets ready for a big showdown with Burke County in the state championship at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Don't go anywhere. This is the Muscogee County Coaches Show, and we'll be back after this.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back to the Muscogee County Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Thrift Behringer, and I am with the man himself. He is doing the best job out of anyone in this area this year with this team, and he is one win away from a state championship. It is Coach Pierre Coffey of the Carver Tigers. What is up, Coach? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir, man. It's my pleasure. How you doing, Thrift?
I'm doing great, man. And I want to first start by saying this. I know how hectic game days are. You were an MVP, and I just really appreciate you donating your time before the game to help us with the pregame show. The main reason we did it, Coach, was to entice people to come. But to have you on the show like that, it was really awesome. So I want to say thank you so much, man.
Man, absolutely. I appreciate what you guys do for us, the exposure and publicity that you give to the programs and to the kids. I mean, you guys don't know how much that really goes a long way for our program. So thank you. Thank you for what you do.
All right, Coach, let's get into it. We've had you on here many times this year. And I asked you a question, and I think I worded it wrong because I said transformation. This team has been elite all year long. You played a really good Harris County team, and you just came up short. But since that moment, Coach, you have not had a close game. What do you credit that to? Is it the offense catching up to the defense? Is it the defense taking even another step from already being what they were at the beginning of the season? What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a combination of both of what you stated. I think, just the kids holding each other accountable on both sides of the ball. I think the defense has been really, really good all year long. And they, of course, they carried us in the beginning of the season, and they've gotten even better each and every week. And then offensively, offense normally, typically in a season, they kind of progress a little slower than the defense. Right. And, once the offense start getting that chemistry with one another, with Matthew and Braylon and KJ Miles and Kobe Castleton and Tarver and all those guys, once they really start getting good chemistry with one another, and the more we practice, it's been very explosive. And so I think it's just a combination of both things. The offense have gotten better each and every week, and then the defense has stepped it up. And then what I'm most pleased about, we've been really, really good on the special teams, especially in the playoffs. I think Friday night we hit two out of our 3 field goals that we attempted, and I think that's a very good most definitely that's a very good moment for us, especially when we used to struggle kicking PATs and now we're hitting field goals. So I think we're making a step in the right direction.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
Carver's come a long way in the kicking game, man. Not just with you, but in years past. Historically, Carver's never really been a team that is really good, not just extra points, but just field goals in general. And to hit 2 of them in the game this past Friday, that's pretty incredible. And that's a weapon. That's an advantage you got moving forward, isn't it, Coach?
Absolutely. I mean, because they were clutch. Kendrick Pierre Spencer, he's a freshman for us, and he's the nephew of Chad Spencer, the kicker, big time kicker back in the Shaw U days. And Kendrick was clutch for us Friday night because he hit a field goal, I think, to take us up 18-6, and then he hit a field goal with like 4 or 5 seconds left in the half to take us up 28-6. And those field goals, I mean, when you can get in the red zone and you can still put 3 points on the board, I mean, that's huge.
It is huge, Coach. And another huge thing you got is this linebacking core that I think is the best linebacking core in the state. I think you can agree with Hodge, Wilson, Watts, and I'm missing one more. Hodge, Wilson, Watts. I'm missing one more, Coach, and I literally just had off the top of my head. And Billingsley. I'm sorry, Billingsley, because I promise you're just as elite as all of them four. But talk about that linebacking core, Coach, because they are the center and one of the main reasons why this defense is so elite.
Absolutely. Before I even talk about all 4 of those guys as players, they all are just super, super just great individuals. They're good students. They all, just are leaders in the school. And so, what they bring to the football field is just, that's just, it is something that transformed from the school to, to them being leaders in the football program. And then they come out on Friday nights and perform the way that they do. And so, they're just 4 just really, really good guys. I'm glad that, God blessed me with the opportunity to be able to pour into those young men and be in their lives and go through this experience with them, because they are, they're really good linebackers, but they're really good human beings too.
Yeah, they are, man. And I'm so proud of what they've become and hope to see them at the next level. Let's go back to the Appling County matchup. You're up 28-6, but it seemed like your halftime message was to keep your foot on their throat, not let a team like that get any confidence. And you came out and dominated in the second half. Did your team do exactly what the game plan was heading into it, Coach?
Yeah, they did. My message at halftime was, just continue to push, continue to perform and execute at an elite level. One thing that I really stressed to them, I said, when we went in halftime, although we were up 28-6, I told them it was 0-0. Because Appling County, that was a good football team, and they had some really good athletes. And 28-6, if they had came out and scored, made it 28-14. And you know what happened when that big when that big momentum swing, you're in trouble. So, we really was trying to push to get more points on the board after halftime, and we were able to do that.
Well, Coach, you got a great win against Appling County, great win against Pierce County. You had a tough couple games in the playoffs. Yeah. Talk about this stretch that you've been on. Have you ever seen something like this? I was talking with DJ. I'm like, it's not just the way you're winning. It's how much you're winning by against elite teams. It's not like you got an easy side of the bracket. You're playing the defending champion, Coach, and you're winning 44-8.
Absolutely. And, I had somebody ask me that earlier today. And, they look at, I guess people look at the scores and think that the games were easy, but these were very well coached teams. These teams had very good athletes, and we were just blessed, to be able to come in and perform our game plan and end up with a victory. But these games were tough, and I think even going back to Ringo was very well coached, and I think at half it was 14-6. So, those games, they wouldn't, although the score may have said one thing, they were tough games.
And looking at Burke County, your upcoming matchup, Coach, their first round matchup, they won 27-21 against a team that only won 2 games this year. So that shows you, it doesn't matter about record when you get into the playoffs. But Burke County, they took down the number 1 overall seed in Rockmart. They're 14-1. I know they got a really good running back that's got 1,700 yards. They're a rushing team. The quarterback doesn't make mistakes. How tough of a matchup do you envision, and what have you seen on film when preparing for them?
Anytime. So I've been knowing their head coach for a long time, Coach Franklin Stevens, and he's been in the state championship. I think this is gonna be his fourth appearance. I think he won
Wow.
two, and he's won two already, and I think he
Yep.
lost one. Or maybe this might be his fifth appearance. But either way, he does a very good job of making sure his teams are prepared. And then when you're facing a wing T like that, it's all about eye discipline. It's all about playing assignment football. It's all about making sure that you read your keys. And, it's enough distraction as it is. You playing in the Mercedes Benz and,
Yep.
all the bells and whistles of the Mercedes Benz, but then you're playing a wing T team that, is a lot of eye candy. And so we just got to make sure that we're disciplined. And, luckily we got, a few extra days to make sure that we're prepared. And we're going to utilize every moment that we have to make sure that we're prepared for it. And so I think our kids are extremely excited, and they pumped about the matchup. But with that being said, they're a good football team, and they're fast, and they run that wing T like a well-oiled machine.
Coach, they come in 14-1. You're 14-1. What are some of the things you're doing leading up to the state championship? Because it's a little bit longer than the week normally that you get to prepare for teams. It's around 10 to 11 days. What's kind of the schedule leading up to it?
I kind of told the guys, this week we'll take, and we kind of pushed the week back. So today was like our Sunday. We went in today, we watched film, we kind of did a walkthrough, and then we lift weights. And then tomorrow we'll hit the field, like it's Monday. We'll hit the field, full speed practicing. And then as we get closer to the weekend, we're going to utilize that time, Saturday and Sunday afternoon, to, kind of do those last final preparations before we leave out to go to Atlanta on Monday. And so, it'll be a traditional week from this point until the weekend in regards to practicing and making sure that we hit all special teams and making sure that we're prepared in regards to our offensive game plan and our defensive game plan. And then, like I said, this weekend will be those final few walkthroughs, and then Monday morning we'll head out to Atlanta.
And we can't wait. We hope this is a PSA for everyone in the community. We hope everyone comes out. Coach, I'll give you a chance to kind of speak to the community here in just a moment, but I got to let you talk about your coaching staff. It's like every time you come on the show, we got to let you promote them, but you're obviously the coach of the year, and what you've done with this offense, turning it into the juggernaut it is. But Justin Newman, y'all just seem like y'all got a really good, tight, close relationship, and he knows exactly what you want, Coach.
Yeah, that's my brother. We've been together since even before Chaco, because we worked at Carver many, many years ago together. That's when we first met. And being at Chaco, we were able to build a program there, and he's my defensive coordinator there. Had one of the top defenses in the state there, and then here at Carver, he's done a phenomenal job of just the same thing. Just making sure the kids are understand their assignment, making sure they're prepared, and pushing them to be the best versions of themselves. And so Justin does a phenomenal job. And then in the weight room, I got Coach Patrick Butler. He's been with me multiple places, and he does an amazing job just making sure the kids are strong. He coaches linebackers. He does a really good job. So that linebacker crew, the outside guys he has, and then Coach John Simpson has the inside guys. And then over on the offensive side of the ball, I got Coach Jamal Brinkley. He helps me with the offense, and Coach Antoine Young, he helps with the offense as well. And so, it's been a really good group of guys, Coach. We got a new coach that came from Tennessee, Coach Israel. He coached defensive backs. We got Coach Atron Jackson. He's another Tuskegee guy. He went to Tuskegee with me, him and Jamal Brinkley. And Coach Jackson does an amazing job with the defensive line. So, we got a pretty good staff. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to come and pour into these kids. And we're blessed, and we're excited for the matchup next week. And we're gonna take them one day at a time from here.
And Coach, one of my last questions before I let you tell everyone in the community to come out and support is taking on this job. You know how much pressure it is. Carver is like taking over Central, and you embrace it, man. I think you embrace it better than anyone ever has. Knowing all the coaches that have come before you, and now you're a win away from cementing your own legacy. What would that mean to you at a program like Carver?
Oh, to be able to follow in the footsteps of Coach Dale McGee, who is a guy that I look up to, a mentor. Coach Charles Flowers, another guy that I look up to and a mentor. And even when I was in Greenville, I worked with Buzz Busby, and Buzz Busby is excuse me, I worked with Trip Busby, and Trip Busby is Buzz Busby that was at Kendrick. That's his son, and so I worked with him and Jeremy Williams, and just to be able to kind of be even mentioned in the likes of guys like that. I mean, that's a huge blessing, because those are guys who, I've tried to model my career after. And, those are guys who, I pick up the phone and I call when I need advice. And so just to be mentioned in that, in the same breath of those guys, I mean, that's that's like a dream come true. So,
And it's well-deserved, Coach, because all the hard work you've done. And, I'm cheering for you. You know how much we respect you here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Appreciate your time. And now here's that PSA to everyone in the community. I've been doing it. I'm going to keep doing it every time I do a show leading up to it. Why they need to come up to Atlanta. And I'm talking about Harris County, the Muscogee County, the Phoenix City, the Tri-City area, because this is our only chance to get a football state championship this year.
Absolutely. We need everybody. I mean, when I say everybody, I mean everybody from the community. It doesn't matter where you went to school at. Just please come up and support these young men. We play next Tuesday at 4:00 in the Mercedes-Benz. Bring a friend and tell a friend to bring a friend. We really want to pack that place out. And so, this is our opportunity. So please come and support these young men. Go Tigers.
Coach. And go Tigers, and we'll see you at the Sports Visions Awards luncheon. Coach, thank you so much, and go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
That is Coach Pierre Coffey of the Muscogee County Coaches Show. We'll continue on here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time! Set the tone.
Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes.
Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Muscogee County Coach Show. What an interview there with Coach Pierre, Coffey, Richard. Great job with your two. Just another great Muscogee County School District Coaches Show.
It really was. You did a fantastic job with Coach Coffey's interview. I interviewed Coach Jarquella Woods in the beginning of the show. I mean, they're undefeated right now. I know this is airing after the Shaw game. But then I also had an interview with the Columbus cheerleading coach, and they're fresh off of a state championship. So, yeah, another great Muscogee County Coaches Show. We'll see you in 2 weeks because we got office hours next week. Next Wednesday, we will not have a Muscogee County Coaches Show. Yep. We will have office hours, and so we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, and then we won't have a Muscogee County Coaches Show again till after the new year. Actually, it may be before. We may do that the 23rd. We're going to try to have one more Muscogee County School
you know
District
what?
show.
Let me rephrase that, because that Wednesday is Christmas.
Yeah,
so our next Muscogee County Coaches Show needs to be January the 8th.
8th, or we may be doing it before that. It just won't be on a Wednesday. So we'll just make sure to keep you in tune. We may do it on December the 30th, Muscogee County School District Coaches Show. All right, that's enough for us. We'll see you next time here on Georgia